I was 26 years old when my heart broke in one single second. My name is Arielle Frost, and the night I saw them together, I felt something inside me fall so fast it almost made me sick. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The soft lights of the restaurant, the sound of glasses and quiet music, the warm smell of food. And then in the middle of all that, the man I loved sitting at a table he never told me about, with a woman he never mentioned, holding her hand like it belonged to him. It was like watching my own life from the outside, like a movie where I was not the main character anymore, just the girl who arrives too late. I didn't go there to spy on him. I went because I wanted to surprise him. We had plans, you know? Plans for the future, for a home, for a simple life together. His name was Ethan Gray. For 2 years he was my safe place, my best friend, my almost everything. That night, he told me he would work late and finish a project at the office. I believed him. Of course I did. I trusted his voice. I trusted his eyes when he said, "I'll make it up to you, Arielle." So I made a plan. I ordered his favorite dessert from a small bakery and wrote a little note on the box. For the man who makes my heart feel at home. I thought I would walk into his office, see him tired, kiss his forehead, and make him smile. But when I arrived there, the building was dark. The security guard at the front door told me he had left an hour before. My heart slipped a little, but I tried to calm myself. Maybe he went to another meeting. Maybe he forgot to send a message. Maybe his phone died. My mind tried to protect me with small excuses like weak umbrellas in a heavy storm. I stepped back onto the cold sidewalk, holding the dessert box against my chest. The night felt sharp and clear. Too clear, I took a deep breath and called him. No answer. I called again. It went straight to voicemail. That was when something heavy started to grow inside me. Not anger, not yet. Just a quiet fear, like a hand closing around my throat. I started walking. I didn't know where to go, but my feet moved on their own. I knew the streets he liked, the cafes he visited, the small places where he said he went to think and breathe. So I walked past them one by one, my eyes searching through windows, my fingers getting cold around the box I still refused to drop. I told myself, if I see him, I will just smile. I will just say I wanted to see you. Nothing more. Nothing less. I didn't want to be the jealous girlfriend. I didn't want to be the paranoid woman. I wanted to be the girl he could trust. But the truth is, something inside me already knew I was walking toward an answer I didn't want. I found him in the fourth place I checked. A small restaurant with warm yellow lights and big windows. The kind of place where couples go to talk in low voices, where hands cross the table, where eyes meet in soft silence. I almost walked past it, but my eyes caught a familiar angle of shoulders, a familiar shape of hair, the way he leaned his head when he listened. My heart jumped. "Ethan?" I whispered to myself. I moved closer to the glass, pressing my free hand gently against it, and there he was. Sitting at a table near the back, wearing the same shirt he used on our last date. His hair was a little messy in the way I loved, but his face was different. Softer, open. He wasn't tired. He wasn't stressed. He was present. Entirely present. Not with me. With her. She sat across from him. Long hair falling over her shoulders, a dress in a color that looked like calm water, fingers wrapped between his. She laughed at something he said, and her head tilted back just enough to show she felt safe. Comfortable. Like this wasn't new. Like this wasn't a secret. Like this was their place. I felt something inside me collapse. I couldn't move. Couldn't blink. Couldn't breathe. The dessert box shook in my hands. My chest tightened so much I thought my ribs would break. I watched as Ethan reached across the table and touched her wrists slow and gentle, tracing small circles on her skin the same way he used to do with mine when I was anxious. She lowered her eyes and smiled, and then, in a voice I couldn't hear but could feel, she said something that made him laugh. The kind of laugh he hadn't shared with me in weeks. I wanted to run, I wanted to scream, but I stayed. Because sometimes the heart needs to see the whole wound to finally accept its bleeding. I took one step closer to the window, pressing my face near the glass, trying to catch every detail. My fingers went numb from how tight I held the box. The restaurant lights reflected part of my face in the window, so for a moment it looked like there were 3 people at that table: him, her, and the ghost of me. The girl who believed in every promise he made. The girl who never thought she would be watching him from the outside, like a stranger. Then I saw something that made my stomach turn. He lifted her hand to his lips and kissed it. Not quick, not casual. It was slow, intimate, very familiar. It was a kiss that said, "You matter to me." A kiss that said, "You are not a mistake." My throat closed. Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I couldn't cry on the street. Not yet. Not in front of them. Not when they didn't know I was watching. I thought about opening the door and walking in. I imagined myself crossing the restaurant, standing by their table, looking him in the eyes and asking, "So, this is your overtime?" I imagined the look on his face, the way his skin would lose color, the way his mouth would open and close, searching for lies. I imagined her turning to me, confused, embarrassed, a hand still in his, asking who I was. I imagined breaking the dessert box right there on the table, sugar and cream mixing with the taste of betrayal. But I didn't move, because I was afraid of the answer. I stayed frozen on the sidewalk, my breath forming small clouds in the cold air, my heart beating too hard. I watched him lean forward and say something, his lips forming words I couldn't hear, but my chest understood anyway. He looked at her like she was the only person in the room. The way he used to look at me. The way I thought he would look at me for the rest of my life. That was when my phone vibrated in my pocket. I jumped a little, pulled it out with shaking hands, and saw his name on the screen. Ethan. He was calling me. My heart stopped. Inside the restaurant, he didn't pick up his phone. He didn't even reach for it. It was in his jacket pocket on the back of the chair. The phone that was ringing in my hand now had his name saved with a small heart I suddenly wanted to erase. He was here, in front of me, with her. And somewhere in the world, for everyone else, he was still the man who worked late and loved me. I stared at his name on the screen until the call ended. A few seconds later, a message arrived. "Sorry, still busy here. I'll call you later, okay? I love you." My heart didn't just fall, it shattered. I looked back at them, my vision getting blurry. They were both smiling now. She reached into her bag and pulled something out. A small box. She pushed it across the table toward him, her fingers trembling with nervous excitement. My body went cold. I watched as Ethan opened it slowly. Whatever was inside made his eyes shine. And in that exact moment, when I saw what she had given him, I realized that what I had lost wasn't just a man. It was the future I thought I had. When I saw the small box in her hands, my breath got stuck somewhere deep inside me. It wasn't a simple gift. I knew that by the way she pushed it toward him with both hands, careful and shy, like someone offering a piece of their heart. Ethan opened it slowly, almost afraid of what was inside. And when he looked down at the tiny object in the velvet case, something happened to his face. A softness, a glow, a private happiness I had not seen in a long time. It was a watch. Simple, elegant, silver around the edges, the kind of thing a man keeps for years. The kind of thing someone gives when they know your heart, your style, your small preferences. I had never seen it before. She must have chosen it for him, thought about him, learned him, and he loved it. I could tell by the way he smiled, the way his eyes moved, bright and young, as if she had just woken something inside him that I thought belonged to me. I pressed the dessert box tighter against my stomach until it hurt. The street around me faded. Cars passed. People walked. Someone laughed somewhere. But it all felt far, like I was underwater, sinking deeper and deeper while the rest of the world stayed warm above the surface. Then something worse happened. Something so simple, so small, yet it felt like a knife turning slowly in my chest. She placed her hand on his cheek. It was soft, familiar, confident, not the touch of a stranger. Not the touch of a new romance either. No, It was the touch of someone who knew exactly where he liked to be held. Her thumb moved gently along his jaw, and Ethan closed his eyes for a moment. Not long, but long enough to say everything. That was the moment my knees almost gave out. I stepped back from the window, just a little, as if distance could protect me from the truth staring at me from the other side of the glass. My eyes burned, but I still refused to cry. I used to believe tears were signs of weakness. That night, I learned tears were signs of truth, and the truth was tearing through every part of me. I turned my face away just for a second to breathe. Just 1 second, but when I looked back, they were hugging. Her head rested gently on his shoulder. His hand moved to her waist. Their bodies fit together like puzzle pieces I had never been part of. He whispered something in her ear, and her smile spread slowly, like warm sunlight, like belonging, like love. I couldn't watch anymore. I stepped away from the window completely, my legs trembling. The cold air outside felt heavier now, like the night itself was pressing against me, telling me to stop looking, to walk away, to protect myself. But I stood there, trapped between wanting to run and wanting to understand how someone's heart could change so silently. My phone buzzed again. Another message from Ethan. Just finished something. Might be home in an hour. Miss you. I stared at those words, each one hitting harder than the last. He was lying to me while sitting in front of another woman, holding her like she was his entire reason for breathing. My fingers shook as I read the message again and again, like my brain needed to memorize the exact moment my heart broke. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone into the street. I wanted to walk inside that restaurant and ruin whatever fantasy they were living, but I did nothing. Because that's what heartbreak does. It steals your ability to move. It freezes you in the middle of the sidewalk. It makes you feel small and invisible, like the world forgot you exist. I took a long breath, then another. But they didn't help. The cold air scratched my throat. My vision blurred. The dessert box slipped from my fingers and fell to the ground. The sound of it hitting the sidewalk was louder than it should have been. It startled me, as if waking me from a dream I didn't want to be in. I bent down slowly, picked up the box, and held it close again. Not because I still wanted to give it to him, but because letting it go felt like letting go of the last piece of the girl I used to be. I forced myself to turn around. I didn't look back, but I heard it. A laugh from inside the restaurant. Ethan's laugh, soft, warm, honest, the kind of laugh he didn't share with me anymore. My steps felt heavy as I walked down the street. The city lights blurred with my unshed tears. Every sound, every movement, every breath felt wrong. I walked like a ghost, like someone wandering between two worlds, one where I believed in love, and one where it fell apart right in front of me. Halfway down the block, I stopped under a street lamp. I needed light. I needed something to hold on to. I opened my phone again, rereading his messages, trying to find some explanation, some mistake, some sign that everything I saw wasn't real. But the truth was simple. I saw them together, and my heart fell fast. I didn't know then, but that night was only the beginning. The first crack in a story I thought would last forever. The first door into a darkness I didn't know existed. The first step into a truth I wasn't ready to face. And the person who would change everything next was someone I had almost forgotten existed. I walked for a long time that night without knowing where I was going. My feet moved faster than my thoughts, as if they were trying to pull me away from the memory of what I had seen. The streetlights passed above me like slow stars, and every step felt heavier, like I was dragging pieces of myself across the sidewalk. I didn't cry at first. I didn't have the strength. My body was too shocked to understand what my heart already knew. But eventually, somewhere between one empty street and another, the tears began to fall, soft at first, then stronger, then impossible to stop. I found a quiet place on a small bridge and stopped there, holding the dessert box with both hands. The city moved around me, but I didn't move with it. Cars drove by, people talked, life continued. And I stood still with the feeling that my world had cracked open under my feet. I leaned on the cold metal rail, taking a deep breath. The air tasted bitter, like something old and painful. I whispered to myself, why Ethan? Why her? But the night didn't answer. I checked my phone again, another message. Still finishing some things here. Promise I'll call you before bed. A lie. Another lie. One that hurt more because it was written with the same softness he used when he told me he loved me. I closed my eyes and let the cold air touch my face. I didn't know what hurt the most, the image of his hand holding hers, the kiss on her wrist, or the way he smiled at her like he once smiled at me. Maybe it was all of it together. Maybe it was the realization that love can disappear without making a sound. Maybe it was understanding that someone you trust can hold your heart in one hand and break it with the other. After a while, I started walking again. I didn't want to go home. Our apartment felt like a crime scene, full of memories, full of promises he made, full of small pieces of him that would stab me the moment I walked through the door. I needed air, I needed space. I needed anything that wasn't the truth I had just discovered. On the way back, I passed a bus stop near a small convenience store. A man sat there, reading a book under the fluorescent light. His shoulders were broad, his hair dark, a little messy, like he had been running or working hard. For a second, I didn't pay attention. I walked past him, my mind somewhere else. But then, he lifted his head. Slowly, gently, like someone waking from a long dream. Arielle? His voice was deep, familiar, too familiar. I froze. I turned around slowly, as if my body didn't believe what my ears heard. The man closed his book and stood up, taking one careful step toward me. The streetlight hit his face, and suddenly the world around me shifted. Memories rushed back. A warm summer. A broken bicycle. A boy who shared his last chocolate bar with me when I was 8. A friend who suddenly disappeared when I turned 16. Lucas? I whispered. He smiled softly, an old smile I had buried years ago. It's really you. My chest tightened. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. He walked closer, careful, as if afraid I might break. I just moved back. I've been here for 2 weeks. He paused, looking at me fully now. You look different. Sad. Are you okay? Those last 3 words were enough. Something inside me cracked open again. Tears filled my eyes without warning, and before I could answer, Lucas stepped forward and opened his arms. He didn't touch me. He just stood there, letting me choose. And I did. I stepped into his embrace like someone stepping into the only place that still felt safe. He wrapped his arms around me, warm and gentle, and I felt my body shake against him. He didn't ask questions. He didn't force words. He just held me. When I finally pulled back, breath shaky, he asked softly, "Do you want to sit?" I nodded. We sat on the bench under the streetlight. The cold night wrapped around us, but his presence felt warm, like a quiet lighthouse in the middle of a dark sea. He looked at the dessert box on my lap. Is that yours? I tried to laugh, but it came out broken. It was supposed to be a surprise for someone. He nodded slowly, but he didn't deserve it. I looked down. No, he didn't. Lucas stayed silent for a moment, then said, "You don't have to tell me everything, but I'm here, if you want to talk." I stared at my hands and whispered, "I saw him with someone else." Lucas froze. His jaw tightened slightly. "Did he hurt you?" I felt my voice break. He lied to me. He lied about everything. Lucas took a slow breath. "And then he's a fool." Those simple words felt heavier than I expected. Not dramatic, not angry, just true. And the truth, when spoken by someone who cares, always feels different. Softer, sharper, real. I wiped my face with the back of my hand. "Why are you here, Lucas? Why now?" He looked straight ahead, his expression changing. "I came back from my mother. She's sick. I'm taking care of her now. And when I saw you today, it felt like the universe wanted us to meet again." My heart trembled in a different way now. Not like the pain from before, but something gentler. Something old. Something familiar. I whispered, "I don't know what to do." Lucas looked at me with eyes that saw too much. "You don't have to decide tonight, but you don't have to face this alone." His words wrapped around me like a quiet blanket. I didn't know then that Lucas would become the only person able to break the fall my heart was still in. And I didn't know that Ethan's betrayal was only the first wound. The second was coming, from someone I never expected. Lucas and I stayed on that bench longer than I planned, maybe longer than I should have. The night felt softer when he was beside me, even though my chest was still heavy. I could feel the sadness inside me like a slow storm, but somehow, sitting next to him made the storm quieter. Not gone. Just softer. He didn't look at me with pity. He didn't rush me. He didn't push words into my mouth. He let me breathe. Let me exist. And after everything I had seen that night, that simple kindness felt like something rare, like something I didn't deserve but needed anyway. Stare a moment, he asked gently, "Did you love him?" I nodded, my eyes fixed on the dessert box. I thought he was my future. Lucas leaned back on the bench and whispered, "Sometimes we choose the wrong future." I swallowed. Or the wrong person. He didn't argue. He didn't try to fix it. He just sat with the truth, letting it settle between us like cold air. My phone vibrated again. This time I didn't want to look, but Lucas glanced at the screen by accident when the light glowed. The message preview showed Ethan's name. "Want me to walk you home?" Lucas asked. I shook my head slowly. Home feels too full right now, too loud, too painful. He understood without needing more words. "Then I'll stay with you for a little longer, just until you feel steady enough to move." We sat quietly, watching the cars pass. At one point he asked, "Do you remember the summer we raced our bikes down Hill Street and you fell into the grass?" A small smile tried to appear on my lips, weak but real. "You fell with me." He laughed softly. "I didn't fall, I jumped to make you feel better." I looked at him. "I didn't know that." "I didn't want you to cry," he said gently. "You always cried to Isley." My chest tightened again, not in pain this time, but in nostalgia, in softness, in something that felt like a memory knocking quietly on the door of my heart. Lucas stood up slowly. "Come on, let's walk. Fresh air will help." I followed him. My legs felt heavier than before, but his presence made each step possible. We walked in silence, passing buildings and trees and distant lights. Every now and then he looked at me to make sure I was still okay. But then something strange happened. We passed in front of a store with a large glass window. My eyes fell on my reflection first, a tired girl holding a ruined dessert box, her makeup smudged, her heart broken. But behind me, in the reflection, I saw movement. A familiar silhouette. I turned around fast, heart jumping, but no one was there. Lucas noticed immediately. "What is it?" "I thought I saw someone," I whispered. "Probably nothing." He looked around, just in case. "You're safe with me." I nodded, but the uneasiness stayed. A quiet, cold whisper inside my chest. We walked a few more minutes until the street became quieter. A small dog barked somewhere. A bus passed. A couple argued gently in the distance. The world kept moving, unaware of the weight I carried. Then Lucas suddenly stopped. I almost bumped into him. "What happened?" He pointed to a small street on the left. "Let's not go that way." "Why?" He hesitated. "Just trust me." But I turned my head anyway, and my breath froze, 'cause standing under the dim street lamp was a woman. Her hair long, her posture confident, her silhouette painfully familiar, the same woman from the restaurant, Ethan's woman. My stomach twisted so hard I felt dizzy. "Lucas," I whispered. "That's her." Lucas stepped closer to me, blocking part of the view. "Don't look. Don't give her more power over you tonight." But I couldn't look away. She wasn't alone this time. Someone was beside her. A tall man. She leaned close to him, whispering something. Then she laughed. A different laugh than the one she gave Ethan. A louder one. A comfortable one. My heart twisted again, not because of jealousy, but because something didn't make sense anymore. "She's with someone else," I whispered. Lucas frowned. "Who?" I shook my head slowly. "I don't know, but that's not Ethan." The man put his arm around her. She let him. She held his hand. And then she did something that made my skin go cold. She looked right in my direction. Not like someone noticing a stranger on the street, but like someone who already knew who I was. Like someone who expected me to be here. My breath got stuck. Lucas. She sees us. He looked closer, tense. Do you know her? No, I whispered. But she knows me. The woman smiled. A soft smile, a slow smile. A smile that didn't belong to someone innocent. And then she mouthed something silently. But I understood. Clear as day. You're next. A shiver ran through my whole body. Lucas grabbed my arm. Arielle, let's go, now. We walked fast, almost ran. My heart hammered so loud I could barely hear anything else. When we turned the corner, Lucas stopped and held my shoulders. Arielle, look at me. What did she say? I swallowed hard, she said. She said I'm next. Next for what? He asked. I shook my head, breath shaking. I don't know. But deep inside, I felt the answer. This wasn't just about Ethan cheating. This woman wasn't just the other woman. There was something darker, something hidden, something I had stepped into without knowing. And whatever it was, it had already begun. Lucas didn't let go of my arm until we reached a brighter street, one with open shops and people still walking around. Only when we were surrounded by noise and light did he loosen his grip. But his eyes stayed sharp, searching the shadows as if expecting that woman to reappear at any moment. I leaned against a wall, trying to breathe. The cold air filled my lungs in fast, uneven bursts, and my hands were shaking so much I had to press them together to keep from dropping the dessert box again. Lucas stood in front of me, his voice low but steady. Arielle, talk to me. What exactly happened back there? I tried to speak, but my lips felt numb. My mind repeated the same image over and over. Her face under the street lamp, the calm in her eyes, the way she smiled as if she knew something I didn't, and those two silent words, "You're next." I swallowed hard. I don't know who she is, Lucas, but she looked at me like she already knew me, like she expected me to follow Ethan tonight. And when she saw me, she wasn't surprised. She was waiting. Lucas's jaw tightened. Waiting for what? I don't know, I whispered. But the way she said it, the way she mouthed those words, it didn't feel like a threat. It felt like a warning. Lucas placed a hand on my shoulder. Arielle, if she knows you. Maybe Ethan told her something. Maybe he... No, I shook my head quickly. Ethan doesn't know I'm here. He doesn't know I saw them. He thinks I believe his lies. Then how... I don't know, Lucas. My voice cracked and I covered my face with my hands. I don't know anything anymore. Lucas stepped closer. Okay. Breathe. You're safe now. But even as he said that, even as he tried to steady me, I felt something cold crawling up my spine. A feeling I couldn't explain. A feeling that this wasn't just about betrayal or heartbreak. This woman. She wasn't just someone Ethan was seeing. There was something else under the surface, like a truth buried in darkness, waiting for me to step closer. Lucas gently took the dessert box from my shaking hands. Let me hold this. You focus on breathing. I nodded, letting my hands fall to my sides. The weight of the night pressed heavy on my chest. My heart still hurt, but now there was something more than heartbreak. Something sharper. Something wrong. After a moment, Lucas said quietly, "Do you want me to walk you home now?" Home. The word felt like a stranger. My apartment was full of Ethan, his jacket on the chair, his toothbrush next to mine, his smell on the pillows, his pictures on the walls, his messages still unread on my phone, his lies echoing in the silence. No, I whispered. I can't go home. Not yet. Lucas nodded. Then let's keep walking. I won't let anything happen to you. We moved slowly down the street, staying where there was light and people. Every time someone walked too close behind us, I flinched. Every time a shadow shifted near a doorway, I tensed. Lucas noticed, and he stayed a little closer to me, his body a quiet shield between me and whatever danger my mind imagined. After a few minutes, he asked, "Arielle, can I ask something?" When you saw Ethan with her, did he look happy? The question hit me in a place I wasn't ready for. I closed my eyes for a moment, remembering the way Ethan's shoulders relaxed, the way his eyes softened, the way he smiled, really smiled for the first time in weeks. He looked like he belonged with her, I whispered. Lucas didn't speak. Not at first. Then he said quietly, "Then he never deserved you." I looked at him, tears stinging my eyes again. Why does it hurt so much then? Why does it hurt like I'm losing something that wasn't even real? Because your feelings were real, he said. Even if his weren't. His words settled deep in my chest, warm and painful all at once. We turned a corner, entering a quieter street. Lucas walked on the outside of the sidewalk, closer to the road. I walked near the buildings, where the cold bricks touched the edge of my arm. The night felt heavier again. A strange silence settled around us. Then my phone vibrated. Lucas looked at me. "You don't have to answer, I know." But my hand still moved toward it. I looked at the screen. It wasn't Ethan. It was an unknown number. A message. Just 3 words. "Did you see?" My blood turned cold. Lucas immediately noticed the way my face changed. "Arielle? What is it?" I turned the screen toward him. He read it. His face darkened. "Who is this?" "I don't know." "When did it come?" "Just now." Lucas took a step closer, his voice low and firm. "Arielle, someone is watching you." My knees weakened. I grabbed the railing of a staircase beside me. This can't be happening. How would anyone know I saw them? Lucas looked down the street, scanning every shadow. "Let's move. Now." We walked faster. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Every sound felt loud. Every step felt dangerous. The message on my phone stayed bright in my mind, like a warning written in fire. When we reached a busy avenue, I finally asked, "Lucas, what do I do?" He turned to me with eyes full of seriousness. "You stay close to me. Until we understand what's going on." I opened my mouth to answer, but before I could, my phone vibrated again. Another message. From the same unknown number. This time, just 1 word. "Run." A chill ripped through my entire body. Lucas grabbed my wrist. "Arielle, don't look back." But of course I did. And for just 1 second, I saw a silhouette standing at the end of the street, watching us, waiting. When my eyes met the silhouette at the end of the street, my whole body froze. It wasn't the woman from before, at least not from what I could see. This figure was taller, shoulders broader, standing completely still under a broken street lamp that flickered like a dying heartbeat. I couldn't see the face, only the outline of someone watching us with a posture that felt intentional. Like they weren't lost, like they weren't passing by, like they were here for us. "Arielle," Lucas whispered. "Don't stare. Let's move." But I couldn't look away. Something about the silhouette felt familiar, even though I couldn't explain how. A strange pull, a strange fear, a strange recognition that didn't make any sense. My fingers tightened automatically around Lucas's hand. The figure took 1 small step forward. That was enough. Lucas pulled me with him. "Come on, stay close." We crossed the avenue quickly, blending into a group of people coming out of a nearby restaurant. The noise, the lights, the movement, it all helped hide us. But my heart kept beating too fast, like it wanted to escape my chest. I tried not to look back again, but my mind kept picturing the shadow behind us, watching, waiting, knowing exactly where we would go next. When we finally reached a better lit street, Lucas slowed down just enough to let me breathe. But even then, he didn't let go of my wrist. "Arielle, you need to tell me everything," he said, voice low and serious. "There's nothing else," I whispered. "I saw Ethan with her. I left, I walked, I found you. And then someone messaged you," Lucas finished. "Someone who knew exactly where you were. Someone who told you to run." My throat tightened. "Lucas, this can't be real. Maybe it's a prank, maybe it's a coincidence." He turned to me, his eyes sharp. "A coincidence?" At the exact moment we saw that woman again? At the exact moment someone followed us? At the exact moment your heart broke into 100 pieces? I didn't answer, because he was right. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't random. This wasn't normal. Lucas guided me to a small park, one with benches facing a fountain that was turned off for the night. "Sit," he said softly. I did. My legs were shaking too much to stay standing. Lucas sat beside me, still alert, still looking around every few seconds. "Okay," he whispered. "Tell me again." "This woman at the restaurant. Describe her." I closed my eyes, trying to picture her more clearly. She had long dark hair, soft waves, a dress the color of water. She looked calm, elegant, the kind of person who walks into a room and makes everyone look twice. She held Ethan's hand like she had held it 1,000 times. She kissed his wrist. She gave him a watch. She looked at him like she already owned his heart. "That's not what I mean," Lucas said. "Describe her eyes, her face, anything that felt off." I opened my eyes slowly. Her eyes were too sure, like she never doubted anything she did. Her smile was perfect, but not warm, like she learned it in a mirror. And when she looked at me tonight, she didn't look surprised. She looked like she had been waiting for me to understand something. Lucas's eyebrows drew together. "And the man with her?" "I didn't see his face," I whispered. "But it wasn't Ethan. He held her like he owned her, and she let him." She smiled with him. She whispered to him. She wasn't cheating on Ethan with him. She was different with each of them." Lucas stared ahead, quiet. Then said, "Arielle, what if she wasn't with Ethan? What if Ethan was with her?" I blinked. "What do you mean?" "Think about it," he said slowly. "You saw her tonight with another man. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't nervous. She didn't act like someone doing something wrong. She acted like someone who plays different roles for different people." "That doesn't make sense," I whispered. "Maybe not now," Lucas said. "But something is wrong here. Very wrong." I pulled my knees closer, holding them with my arms. The cold from the bench seeped into my skin. "This all started because I followed Ethan." He looked at me. "No, this started before that." I frowned. "Before?" Lucas hesitated for a moment, then said, "Arielle, someone's been asking about you." My heart dropped. "What do you mean?" "I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to worry, but a few days after I came back to town, someone stopped by my mother's house. A woman." "A woman?" My voice cracked. "What woman? I didn't see her face," Lucas said. My mother answered the door. The woman asked if I had returned, and if I had run into you yet. A cold shiver ran down my spine. "Lucas, what are you saying?" "I'm saying," he said slowly, "that someone knew we would meet again. Someone expected it. Someone who knows you, and knows me." My head spun. The night felt too big, too heavy, too dark. But why? Why me? Why us? "I don't know," Lucas admitted. "But we need to be careful." Before I could answer, my phone vibrated again. Lucas looked at me sharply. "Don't open it yet," but I already had. Another unknown message. This one longer. "You shouldn't have seen him, but now that you did, you need to understand the truth." My hand trembled. "The truth? What truth?" Lucas leaned over to read with me. Then the next message came immediately after. "Meet me where it all began." I felt my breath catch. "Where it all began? What does that mean?" "I don't." Lucas's face changed. He knew. "Arielle," he whispered, voice tense. "I think they mean Hill Street." My heart nearly stopped. "The place where we grew up?" "The place where everything started," he said. "For us. For your family. For..." He stopped himself. I grabbed his arm. "For what, Lucas? Tell me." He swallowed hard. "Arielle, there's something you never knew about Ethan." The world tilted. My chest tightened. This wasn't just about betrayal. This wasn't just about heartbreak. This was about something hidden, something old, something dangerous. And the truth was waiting for us at Hill Street. Hill Street was a place I had not visited in years. Maybe because every part of it carried pieces of my childhood, some sweet, some painful, some too heavy to hold again. When Lucas said the name, something inside my chest pulled tight, like an old memory waking up from a long sleep. "Why would they want us to go there?" I whispered. Lucas didn't answer right away. His eyes moved back and forth across the park, scanning every shadow, every path, every corner. He looked like someone trying to protect me from things he couldn't even see. "Arielle," he said slowly, "there's something I never told you about Ethan." My breath caught. "What is it?" He hesitated, and in that silence, the world around us felt painfully loud. Cars passing, leaves rustling, a dog barking in the distance. But Lucas's voice stayed low, controlled, almost afraid. "He didn't meet you by accident." I blinked. "What?" "He didn't meet you by chance," Lucas repeated. "He wasn't some guy who just happened to fall in love with you. He already knew who you were before he talked to you for the first time." My throat tightened. "Lucas, what are you saying?" "I'm saying," he breathed out, "that Ethan came back to this town for you." The ground felt like it slipped under my feet. No, that's not possible. He told me he moved here for work. He told me he lied," Lucas cut in gently. "Arielle, Ethan's family and your family go way back. Way before you and I were even born." I felt cold all over. "I don't understand." "You don't have to believe me," he whispered, "but you need to hear the truth. And the truth doesn't start tonight. It starts years ago, on Hill Street." My pulse quickened. What happened on Hill Street? Lucas opened his mouth to answer, but suddenly a sound cut him off. A car door slamming. We both turned our heads at the same time. Across the street, a black car had stopped near the curb. The driver stayed inside, engine running. The headlights pointed directly at us, too bright, too white, making it hard to see anything else. Lucas rose to his feet immediately. "Get up, Arielle." I stood, heart pounding hard enough to hurt. "Is it them?" "I don't know," he whispered. "But we're not staying here to find out." He took my hand and pulled me toward the other exit of the park. The cold wind wrapped around us as we hurried through the trees, our footsteps crunching on fallen leaves. I didn't look back, but Lucas did. And the way he tightened his grip told me enough. "They're following," he breathed. My stomach twisted. We reached the edge of the park, and Lucas guided me toward a narrow side street. "Come on, we'll lose them through here." I followed him, my breath shaking, my heart racing with every step. The shadows felt heavier, thicker, climbing the walls of the buildings like they were alive. I felt watched. I felt hunted. I felt like something was inches behind me, breathing down my neck. But when we finally reached a small intersection, a voice echoed behind us. "Arielle." I froze. Lucas spun around fast, pulling me behind him. A figure stepped out from the shadows. Not the woman, not the man from the street, not the silhouette. It was Ethan. His face was pale, his eyes wide, not with guilt, not with shame, but with fear. "Arielle," he said again, breathing hard. "You need to listen to me." I stepped back. "Stay away from me." He shook his head desperately. "I didn't do anything to you, I swear. You shouldn't have followed me tonight." Lucas's body tensed. "You should leave, now." Ethan ignored him. His eyes stayed on me, trembling, almost begging. "Arielle. She wasn't supposed to see you. She wasn't supposed to say anything. Please tell me you didn't talk to her." My voice cracked. "I saw you with her, Ethan. I saw you holding her. I saw—" "You don't understand," he whispered, panic rising in his voice. She's not what you think." Lucas stepped in front of me. "Back up. You're scaring her." Ethan looked at him like he wanted to scream. "You don't get it, Lucas. You never did. This isn't about love. This isn't about cheating. This is about something bigger. Something that started long before tonight." My pulse stopped for a moment. Ethan took one careful step toward me, his hands raised like he was afraid I might run. "Arielle, they were watching you. They always were. You walked into something you shouldn't have. And now they won't stop. My voice trembled. Who won't stop? Ethan swallowed hard. Her family. The ones that control everything. The ones that made me. He stopped suddenly. A noise echoed from behind him. A quiet click. Like a heel against the pavement. Then the woman stepped into the light. The same woman from the restaurant. But this time, she wasn't smiling. Her face was calm, cold, silent. Ethan's body stiffened. No, please, just listen to me. But she didn't look at Ethan. She looked at me, straight into my eyes. Come with me, Arielle, she said softly. Her voice was gentle, almost sweet. But something inside me broke open in fear. Lucas pulled me back. Stay away from her. Ethan moved too, desperate. Arielle, don't go with her. Don't. But the woman raised one hand, and Ethan went silent. He didn't fall. He didn't collapse. He just stopped talking, stopped moving. Like his voice was taken from him. My heart hammered violently. What did you do to him? I whispered. She stepped forward. Calm, elegant, certain. I protected him, she said. For now, Lucas tightened his arm around me. We're leaving. But the woman tilted her head slightly. No, Lucas, not this time. He froze. As if she had pulled a string inside him he didn't know existed. The air grew colder. The streetlights flickered. A distant dog barked and then went silent. Then she said something that made my entire world tilt sideways. Arielle, you deserve to know who you really are. My knees weakened. What do you mean? She smiled again. Not warm, not cruel, but knowing your family has been lying to you since the day you were born. Lucas looked at her with fear in his eyes, a fear I had never seen before. And then she said the words that shattered everything I thought I knew. Your mother died on Hill Street, but she wasn't alone, and you were never supposed to survive. The world went still. The air left my lungs. Lucas stepped in front of me again. Don't listen to her. None of this is true. But the woman just kept smiling softly. Then why did you come back, Lucas? She asked quietly. Why now? His body tensed. My heart dropped. Because you know the truth, she whispered, and you can't protect her forever. My voice barely came out. Lucas, what truth? He didn't look at me. He couldn't. A tear slipped down his cheek, and in that moment, I understood. Lucas knew everything. Lucas didn't move. He didn't breathe. He didn't blink. He stood there between me and the woman, but his body. It wasn't strong anymore. It wasn't confident. It was frozen. Not by fear alone, but by something heavier. Something that felt like guilt. Lucas, I whispered, my voice shaking. What is she talking about? He closed his eyes for a moment, just 1 second, as if he wanted to erase the whole world before opening them again. But when he looked at me, his expression wasn't the one I remembered from childhood. It wasn't warm or soft or protective. It was broken. Arielle, he said, struggling with the words. I wanted to tell you. You should have, the woman interrupted. Years ago. Lucas clenched his jaw. Stay out of this. But she only tilted her head gently, like someone listening to a child throwing a tantrum. You can't protect her from the past, she said. Not anymore. My chest tightened. What past? What are you all talking about? Ethan took a small step toward me then, still pale, still shaking. Arielle, please, listen to me. I didn't want this for you. I never wanted you to get pulled in. I tried to keep you outside of all of this. All of what? I shouted. My voice echoed against the narrow street. My heart thundered. My body trembled. The woman stepped closer, not fast, not threatening, but with the calmness of someone walking into a room they already owned. It's time, she said softly. She's old enough to know. Lucas grabbed my arm. Arielle, don't listen to her. But I pulled away from him. Lucas, stop. Just tell me the truth. He looked at me then, really looked at me, and in his eyes I saw something I didn't expect. Fear and love and shame. He swallowed hard. Your mother didn't die the way your father told you. My stomach twisted. He said it was an accident. It wasn't. Lucas's voice cracked. It was an attack. The world started spinning. The streetlights dimmed. The wind grew colder. Every sound became distant. No, I whispered. No, that's not possible. My father would have told me. He wouldn't hide something like that. He did, Lucas said, quiet, painful, to protect you. The woman stepped forward again, a slow, graceful step, her eyes never leaving mine. The night your mother died, she said softly, you were there. My knees weakened. I don't remember anything. You weren't supposed to, she whispered. They erased it. They hid it. They rewrote your memories so you would grow up safe. Lucas's voice trembled. Arielle, I didn't want you to ever find out. I wanted you to have a normal life. A normal life? The woman repeated with a cold smile. She was never meant for a normal life. I shook my head over and over, trying to push the words out of my mind. This is insane. None of this makes sense. Lucas stepped closer, his voice soft but desperate. Arielle, your mother was targeted. And you, stop, I whispered. He didn't. You were the real target. The world shattered again, louder, sharper, deeper than the first heartbreak of the night. My mother died because of me, I whispered. Lucas's face crumpled. No, because of who your mother was, and what you are. My chest felt too tight to hold air. What am I? The woman finally answered. You are the last Frost. The street went silent. Ethan looked away. Lucas lowered his head. I frowned. What does that even mean? Frost is just my last name. It's not a name, the woman said. It's a lineage. I backed away slowly. Lucas, tell me she's lying. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. My heart already knew the truth. The woman continued, her voice calm and cruel in its clarity. Your mother was the last protector of a very old legacy, something powerful, something people would kill for. And when she died, that legacy passed to you. I felt dizzy, weak, lost. Me? I whispered. I don't have anything. I'm not anything. The woman smiled softly. You have no idea what you are. Lucas stepped toward me again, anguish in his eyes. Arielle, I tried to keep you away from all of this. I left town because I didn't want them to find you through me. Lucas, I whispered, you said someone came to your mother's house asking for you. He nodded slowly. Because they thought I would come back to you eventually. And, did you? He exhaled. Yes. The woman took another step forward, and now everything has begun again. Ethan shook his head. You don't have to do this, not tonight, she's not ready. She has no choice, the woman answered. Then she looked at me. Arielle, when you saw me tonight, it wasn't an accident. You were meant to see. My heart pounded painfully. Why? Because tonight, she whispered, was the moment your old life ended. Lucas grabbed my shoulders. Arielle, run. The woman raised her hand, and the world went dark. Just for a second. Just long enough for someone to vanish. Just long enough for everything to change. When the streetlights flickered back on, the woman was gone. Ethan was gone. Only Lucas remained, and beside us, on the cold pavement, lay a small object, a silver watch. The same watch the woman had given Ethan earlier. Only now, it was broken. When the streetlights came back on and I saw the broken watch lying on the pavement, something inside me cracked in a way that felt permanent. I bent down slowly, my knees weak, my fingers trembling as they touched the cold metal. The glass on the front was shattered. A thin spiderweb of cracks spreading across the surface, like a quiet symbol of everything that had happened tonight. Lucas knelt beside me. Arielle, don't touch it. But I already had. And the moment my fingers brushed the metal, a memory hit me. Fast, sharp, blinding. Not like a memory I had lived. More like a memory that lived inside me. I saw my mother. Not the blurry, warm version my father used to describe. It's not the fading photos he kept in the old box. but real, alive, holding me as a child, running down a street at night, breathing fast, crying, looking behind her again and again. Someone chasing us. Someone calling her name. Someone closing in. My mother whispered, "Don't look back, Arielle." Her voice broke. Her arms tightened around me. And then I saw a flash, a hand, a shadow, a scream. The memory collapsed as fast as it came. I dropped the watch. Lucas grabbed my shoulders. "Arielle, are you okay?" I shook my head, tears filling my eyes. I saw my mother. I saw her. Lucas froze. "What did you see?" "She was running," I whispered. "Someone was chasing us. She tried to protect me. She saved me." Lucas closed his eyes for a moment, pain stretching across his face. "Arielle, I'm so sorry." I stared at him. "You knew. You knew all along." He opened his eyes again, and they were full of guilt. "I didn't want this life for you. I didn't want you to remember. Your father asked me to protect you. He begged me not to tell you anything until it was absolutely necessary. And now it is?" I asked. Lucas nodded slowly. "Yes." My chest tightened. "Who am I, Lucas?" He hesitated, then spoke. "You're the last Frost. Your mother's family protected something powerful, something that people from her world wanted, something they still want. Your mother died because she refused to give it to them, and now the legacy is yours." I felt like the ground tilted beneath me. "What legacy?" "I don't know everything," Lucas admitted. "Your father kept it hidden even from me, but whatever it is, they believe you carry it, inside you or with you, or in something your mother left behind." My throat tightened. "Ethan, he was part of all this?" Lucas looked away. At first, no. But then, yes. Those words sliced through me sharper than anything else. "He didn't fall in love with you by accident," Lucas whispered. "He was sent to get close, to watch you, to find whatever your mother hid." My breath caught. "But he cared about me." "I know he did. I felt it." Lucas looked at me with a sadness I couldn't bear. "People like him learn how to make you feel safe before they take everything from you." I shook my head, stepping away. No, that can't be true." He looked at you the way he needed to," Lucas said gently. "Not the way he wanted to." "What's the difference?" I whispered. Lucas swallowed hard. "He wanted to keep you alive." The air froze around us. "He broke the rules," Lucas said. "He didn't deliver you to them. He didn't report everything he learned. He tried to protect you in his own way. That's why he's scared. That's why he followed us tonight. That's why he's running from them too." I felt dizzy. Then the woman. "She's part of this?" "She's more than part of it," Lucas whispered. "She leads it." My skin turned cold. "Who is she?" Lucas sighed. "Her name is Cassandra Vale." The name hit me like a cold wind. "She's dangerous," Lucas continued. "More dangerous than anyone you've ever met. And she's been watching you for years, waiting, planning." A loud car horn echoed somewhere far behind us. The world felt like it was shrinking, pulling tight around my ribs. "Lucas," I whispered, "what do they want from me?" He looked directly into my eyes. "Everything your mother died protecting." He took a deep breath. "And everything you don't know you have." I felt my heart hammering so hard I thought it would break again. "Tell me the truth," I whispered. "All of it." Lucas hesitated, then spoke softly. "Arielle, you were not supposed to survive the night your mother died. Someone intervened. Someone saved you. Someone hid you. And that someone left a clue behind." He reached into his coat and pulled out an old, folded envelope. My breath stopped. "I've had this for years," he whispered. "Your father gave it to me before he died. He said I could only give it to you when the past finally caught up." My fingers shook as I reached for it. "I didn't open it," Lucas said. "I didn't want to know. It wasn't mine to see." My chest tightened as I unfolded the envelope. Inside it was a single piece of paper. My mother's handwriting. My vision blurred instantly. Lucas stepped closer. Read it. I opened the paper, the edges fragile and yellow with time. And in the center, one sentence. One truth. One final message from my mother. Arielle, your heart is the key. Trust no one but the one who stayed. I stared at the words, my breath shaking, my vision dimming. The one who stayed? I whispered. Who? Lucas said nothing. Ethan was gone. Cassandra was gone. The shadows were moving. The danger was real. The night felt like it was closing in. And when I looked up at Lucas for the first time, I didn't see guilt. I didn't see pain. I didn't see fear, I saw the truth. He was the one who stayed. My voice broke. Lucas, why didn't you leave me? He swallowed, stepping closer, his voice trembling. Because I loved you long before he did. And in that moment, the night exhaled around us. My heart fell again, but this time, not from pain, from truth. From everything I finally understood.